Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to the show Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. My name is Joseph ATEWEH saying good morning.
And I am NENGI ERNEST-ADEMOLA. Thanks for joining us on the last edition for this week. We have a whole lot on our bucket list to tick, as I will usually say, when it comes to news making the rounds in the world of sports. And definitely would like to start off from the local scene and give you updates coming from the Nigerian Premier Football League. Welcome on board once again. And of course, I take you into the NPFL update ones. Now, our newly promoted Nigerian Premier Football League club, Sporting Lagos, has decided to improve its technical crew with the acquisition of a new assistant coach. Now, the Lagos-based club secured their spot in the Premier League after they came tops during the Nigerian National League, that's the NNL Super 6. The management of the club on Thursday appointed coach Edward Green as the club's new assistant coach. And Green, who is a UEFA C licensed coach, worked and was an assistant coach to coach Deji Ayeni of Akwa United last season. And Green is expected to bring his 5 years work experience with the promise keeper to strengthen the newly promoted side. Well, of course, when Sporting Lagos was promoted, definitely we were all happy about how packaged this club was. And definitely they have been able to join the big boys and to compete with top clubs when it comes to the Nigerian Premier Football League. And of course, when the season kickstarts, definitely they are all set and ready. Of course, with the new inclusion they have as an assistant coach in person of Edward Green. But we'll see how things pans out to be when they roll out and of course dine with the big boys in the Nigerian Premier Football League.
And still with more stories making updates in the world of sports. Proper Sports says NPFL Live app is affordable. And that is what they're saying, that anyone can access this app and it will definitely work well. And well, the key word there is that it is affordable.
Affordable, yeah, exactly. And let's give you details as it concerns that. Now, streaming partners of the Nigerian Premier Football League, Propel Sports Africa, said their prospective subscribers on the NPFL streaming app will not have to pay through their noses to follow league matches, even as the kickoff of the 2023 and 2024 season is still shrouded in mystery. And this was reported according to The Punch. Now, the new season was initially scheduled to start August 26th, but has suffered 2 postponements, with a new date yet to be announced by the NPFL board. However, there seems to be a progress in efforts to get coverage for the league, as president of Propel Sports Africa, Ed Simmons, revealed they are waiting for the commencement of the season. And just to also let you know that they also signed a $5 million deal with the NPFL board in May, a very big giant when it comes to network in Africa. And of course, they are to serve as exclusive broadcast telecommunication partners for the broadcast of games on mobile phones on the network. But from what we're getting is the fact that the prices to watch on the NPFL Live streaming app are affordable, and that's pending when the 2023 and 2024 Nigerian Premier Football League kickstarts.
And away from that, despite a resounding victory in the last game of the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifiers, and their only game since the last FIFA World Ranking in June, Nigeria dropped a place in the latest FIFA Men's Rankings for June. The Super Eagles, who were ranked 39th in the rankings released in June, lost 3 points and dropped to 40th. The Eagles defeated Sao Tome and Principe 6-0 in the last game of the AFCON qualifiers, but the result turned out not to have any positive effect on the position on the rankings table. Jose Pescero's men finished top of Group A of the AFCON qualifiers with an impressive 15 points and booked a spot at next year's AFCON, due to hold in Ivory Coast. One of the African continents, the 3-time African champions remain in the top 6, which is a big boost for them, as it means they'll be among the top seeds when the AFCON draw is concluded later in 2023. Meanwhile, Morocco remains Africa's #1 nation, sitting 13th place in the world ranking, while Senegal dropped 2 places and now ranked 20th in the world. They maintain their 2nd position in Africa. And globally, World Cup winners Argentina is still the #1 ranked nation ahead of France, Brazil, England, and Belgium.
And just to add to that, let's give you the full African top 10 rankings. #1, we have Morocco, who is 13th in the world. Right now, we have Senegal followed in the African top rankings. They are 20th in the world. Tunisia is 3rd in Africa, but 29th in the world. Algeria is 4th in Africa, but 34th in the world. Egypt, yes, not leaving out Egypt, 5th in Africa, but 35th position in the world. And Nigeria definitely still maintaining their position, 6th in Africa, but 40th in the world. Cameroon, which is 7th in Africa, 41 in the world. Mali, which is 8th, they are 49th in the world. Ivory Coast, 9th, they are 50th position in the world. And of course, the last but not the least, 10th in Africa, Burkina Faso, but 58th in the world. And Joseph did talk about the draws for the 2023 AFCON. And let's see if we can give you update as it pertains that, because we do understand the fact that the pots for the draws are already out. And the poor FIFA ranking of Nigeria's Super Eagles has produced a quick result as they were seeded to pot 2 of the draws for the 2023 African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. The 3-time African champions was ranked 40th in the world and 6th in Africa in the latest draw released by the World Soccer ruling body, which we just talked about now. And the Confederation of African Football, that's CAF, released the draw pots, and Super Eagles of Nigeria were placed in the pot 2 alongside Ghana, DR Congo, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, and Mali. And just to also let you know that Super Eagles finished on top of their qualifying group, accruing 15 points from 6 matches. And the draw is slated for the 12th of October in Abidjan. And just to also inform you, for pot 1, we have the likes of Ivory Coast, Senegal, Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, and Algeria. For pot 2, we now have Nigeria, Cameroon, DR Congo, Ghana, Mali, and Burkina Faso. For pot 3, we have the likes of South Africa, Cape Verde, Guinea, Zambia, Equatorial Guinea, Mauritania. For pot 4, lastly, we have Namibia, Mozambique, Gambia, Tanzania, Guinea-Bissau, and Angola.
And away from that, there were indications yesterday that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would declare the 7th National Youth Games open. An official of the organizing committee told reporters that they were expecting President Tinubu at the opening ceremony holding at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, although the official said they were waiting for confirmation from the Ministry of Youth and Sport on whether the president will be available for the events. The first edition of the NYG took place in Abuja in 2013, but the past 5 editions were held in Ilorin, Kwara State. As about 2023 National Youth Games with inscription, where the future will be attended by over 4,500 athletes, a figure the organizers have described as the largest ever. The games had chunked out generations of talented top athletes over the years, including Mabel Madojimu, Ese Brume, Divino Dudu, Ashley Favor Philly, and Prince Idama Dudu.
And of course, just to add to that, before we go on our very first break for the show this morning, according to the organizers, all the 23 different venues to be used for the games have been equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, just as the hostels, water, and other welfare facilities have been provided for the athletes and their officials. And a total of 35 sporting activities will take place at different venues in Asaba, Okpanam, and Ogwashuku. And among the states on ground in Asaba, as at yesterday, were Adamawa, Anambra, Bayelsa, Benue, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Katsina, Kwara, Lagos, Ogun State, Ondo State, and not leaving out Osun State. Of course, we gave updates on that yesterday. Osun State are definitely right now in Asaba in preparation for the 7th edition of the National Youth Games, and not leaving out Plateau and Yobe. So these were the states that were marked present as at yesterday in Asaba.
And just before we leave, the Nigerian under-18 handball coach is upbeat ahead of the semis that were taking place.
Absolutely. We gave updates concerning the under-18 handball team, which, of course, have qualified for the championship in 2024. But then again, today by 4 p.m., they would stand to take on Egypt. And Shitu Agbola, head coach of Nigeria's under-18 women's handball team, says the team will not give Egypt too much respect when both teams clash in the semi-finals of the ongoing African Women's Youth Handball Championship in Monastir, Tunisia, today. Now, just to also remind you, the Nigeria defeated Morocco 28-14 in the quarterfinals of the tournament on Wednesday to set up the showdown against the Egyptians, who also defeated Algeria 30-18 in the other last 8 clash. And the victories on Wednesday mean both countries have qualified for the 2024 IHF Women's Youth World Championship in China.
All right, that's it from the local scene. We need to go on a break here. When we come back, we'll give you more stories making the rounds in the world of sports. And according to multiple reports, now the new Spain head coach is facing sack just 15 days after appointment. We'll be back.